All right, now on to some interesting stuff. The other day I was talking about that ScotiaBank. There's a lawsuit, and someone sent me an email. Tell me more about the ScotiaBank thing. What is that? And I'm going to answer you now instead of through email. Scotiabank is one of, I think, three or so banks that are like these bullion banks that they are like custodian or something like that of the precious metals as far as the paper contracts are concerned. So someone has a futures contract on paper and it's worth 5,000 ounces of silver, for example. One contract is, and they say, I want to pay off this account in full. I want that 5,000 ounces of silver. I don't want to sell off my paper contract. I want the real deal. Here's the money. Give me that 5,000 ounces. What then happens is one of those three, I think it's three, it might be four, but I think it's three of these particular bullion banks will then say, okay, well, out of our inventory, we will take out this 5,000 ounce contract of actual real metals and ship it off to this particular person. And usually that part's where you have to work with them. How they're going to ship it? Are they going to, whatever. That's another story. So Scotiabank is one of these entities. So they are directly tied into the commodities futures CME Group, Chicago Merchant Hall Exchange, the commodities market. That's where precious metals, not the only place, but that's one of the three that stores gold or silver. And you can follow supposedly the amounts, the registered amount and the eligible amounts that they have ready for delivery and all that crap. But this lawsuit we talked about the other day that the judge said, go ahead and go, we're going forward with this, was a breakthrough. And there's some more interesting information on that, which looks like even better news for us silver stackers who think that the club continues to just get away with stuff, nothing ever changes. They continue to manipulate. Nothing's ever going to stop. This is actually quite good news. Don't know where it's going to end yet or how it's going to end, but at this point, this is some pretty good news. Silver Doctors is covering this through marketslant.com. Goldfix. Scotiabank ordered to produce internal documents. So the lawsuit, we're going forward. Now the discovery process starts. We want A, B, C, D, E, and F documents, says the people bringing the case. So it says, last week, Market Slant was fortunate enough to break the story on Judge Caproni's decision in the gold fix manipulation case. The decision is a landmark one and changes the landscape forever in commodity manipulation cases. Simply put, things are just getting started now, and today's news is the first step. We had received the original document from Kitco News' chief editor, Danny. Our goal at the time was to strip out the legalese and make the case particulars plain for readers. What was not disclosed were the implications of the judge's finding for the plaintiffs. In light of the first discovery demand, we will try to outline the ruling's implications. So it says, original stories here, whatever, which I already read you. Update, Scotiabank gets tapped for documents. Today we learned that Scotiabank, one of 5 defendant banks in the case, is the first to be ordered to produce internal documents requested by the plaintiffs. These documents go back years, covering emails, instant message records, internal memorandums, notes from risk meetings, and anything the plaintiffs' attorneys think to ask for that could help their case. Things are about to start getting interesting, and here's why. And first off, why things are different now, he says. Judge Caproni's decision was a landmark event for the plaintiffs. It is the first time that a precious metals manipulation case had made it past the opinion and order stage with a recommendation the case be litigated. The decision is key in that the plaintiffs will be able for the first time to obtain evidence through discovery and depositions of the defendants. We cannot emphasize that enough. A barrier has been broken that cannot be put back in place. The production of discovery, deposition of witnesses, and other evidentiary processes have never been on the table before, and they are now accessible. The defendants have risk. Using a different analogy, can of worms are being opened now. The defendants have real risks now. Risks like perjury, internal contradictions, contradictions across from different firms, and escalation up the corporate ladder. The defendants know it, and Daniel Brockett, the point man for the plaintiffs, the ones bringing the case, knows it. Quote, they have to produce all the relevant emails and chat room instant messages, however they communicated with each other. Daniel Brockett, senior partner and litigator at Quinn, Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan, LLP. So to what ends do these requests for documents serve? What do the plaintiffs hope to find? Broadly speaking, we believe the plaintiffs' attorneys hope to find two types of proof from the documents: proof of intent and proof of Sherman antitrust law violations. In essence, one, did they mean it? And two, were they working together? Proving intent. The plaintiff's attorneys will look for evidence of intent. Unless you're the FBI investigating Hillary. No intent was found. Wait a minute, now we found intent. No, we're not reopening the case. Unless that kind of thing happens. Intent is the most difficult part to prove in any manipulation case. Intent involves knowing what the manipulator was thinking leading up to the action. Essentially, did the offender intend to do what he did? There are at least three ways of proving intent, none of which are easy. 1, the defendant admits it, a product of depositions and or discovery. Number 2, a written audit trail that shows intent exists, discovery, such as an email in which the defendant describes why he did a trade, an inquiry, internal inquiry asking for justification in the scope of the firm's risk. Or number 3, an operational or programming person was made privy to the intent as a function of their duties. These are all very real risks, and if the defendants don't get their story straight, any divergence between word and deed can hurt their credibility and open the door for more aggressive tactics by the plaintiffs. Proving antitrust law violations. The plaintiffs will seek punitive damages under the Sherman Antitrust Act, specifically under Section 1 governing unlawful restraint of trade. Section 1 delineates and prohibits specific means of anti-competitive conduct. The plaintiffs seek to prove collaboration between two or more defendant banks. They will attempt to prove cartel-like behavior between the defendants. The burden of proof here, even with evidence, is high. The purpose of the Sherman Act was to preserve a competitive marketplace and protect consumers from abuses. However, its more recent applications involve the prevention of cartel operations or monopolies. Certainly, an email from an employee of ScotiaBank to one of its fellow defendants describing what it has done or intends to do would serve this purpose well, but the burden of proof is high. Even with the uphill battle ahead for the plaintiffs, Brockett was not blowing hot air when he said, quote, the ruling is a major victory for the plaintiffs because it upholds the core antitrust claim against the 5 fixing banks and the statutory commodity manipulation claim against the 5 fixing banks. So what happens next? Requests for documents will come in for each defendant. Plaintiff attorneys will review the documents and draw up their plan of attack. Depositions of defendant personnel will occur as plaintiffs will look for contradicting and or corroborating statements of the documents reviewed. And number 4, new requests will be made. And that whole part about depositions of defendant personnel will occur. Personnel, employees. I don't think I need to go to the Magic 8 Ball. Matter of fact, I believe Cliff High already said it not too long ago via his Webart reports. But be prepared for more bankster, weird, suicide, death, accident type stuff happening. And yes, I am aware there were 2 females? JP Morgan employees found dead, mysteriously died fairly recently, by the way. So that's it for now. I just want to share that with you. It's good news because it opens the door. It puts more light on the shadows, if you will. And honestly, I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm hoping there's something there. I'm hoping the documents that are produced, because I almost feel like right now in my head is telling me, my brain, the documents aren't going to be found. They're going to be, sorry, Your Honor, we had an office fire. Sorry, Your Honor, we were storing some of the documents at 55 Water Street, New York City, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Hurricane Sandy came through a while back and wiped out all those documents. It flooded their flood-proof vault somehow. And then when they were cleaning up, a fire started. That's actually true, if you believe it. Don't know if that's going to happen in this case, but what's to stop them from saying, oh, yeah, we had a fire, we had a flood, water damage, we don't have the documents they requested, I'm sorry. Email server crashed, we had backups, but the backups were bad, There's going to be a new amendment. When people say I plead the fifth, there's going to be a new one. I plead the Hillary. I'm sorry, sir? Yeah, I plead the Hillary on that. Sir, we're asking you for your email documents. Yes, I'm pleading the Hillary. My server's gone, it's crashed, it's been wiped clean, and I can't give that to you. Happened before the subpoena. Sorry about that. Well, then again, in Hillary's case, she got subpoenaed first and then afterwards. Take care.